Something we probably will get though, and that has been leaking recently, unlike The Hunt, is Yandhi, Kanye's loose tracks that are reportedly on the Yandhi album, unconfirmed by Kanye or his team, but that's been the buzz around it. Yeah, the interesting thing I find about these leaks is, Kanye's been kind of doing this for a long time now. Probably the most well known of these is the Good Music, the Good Friday uh, gimmick, where he was dropping songs every Friday, but there were other songs coming out on different days. And
Right.
a lot of the songs that are on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy had been dropped in different forms, that not the final album forms. But this is something that happens around Kanye and Drake and people like that, rappers like that, and artists like that. But I had no idea that these tracks had even dropped, and I think that speaks to two things. One, Kanye ain't what he used to be, but also, or I should amend that. Kanye is not the megastar he used to be, because I think if this was Kanye 2011, we're all over these when they drop. Maybe not 2011, maybe 2009 or something like that. If this was, but the other thing is, I don't, I'm not tuned into these drops because I listen to my music all in the same way, or two ways. I either listen to it on my record player, which is all old albums at this point, or
Right.
I listen to it on streaming. And these leaks aren't on streaming.
Right. Yeah. So what we know about this leak is 5 tracks leaked on July 19th. Quite a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
A few others came out in snippets at the end of 2018. I think a verse or two might have been performed on SNL. I Love It was an official release with Little Pump, of course. So it's been spread out. And yeah, I mean, you nailed it right away. Music listening today is as easy as it's ever been. And thus, the wide audience is just trained. It's just muscle memory now to not look very hard, just have the music you want presented right to you, right? Most music today is listened via playlist. People tell you what's good, and you listen to the playlist that you like, right?
Mm-hmm.
New Music Friday, you go, you pick your stuff, you listen to it, right? It's very simple. Some people might do a little risky. They might go on YouTube where they have to search for it themselves, but you still get a recommended front page, right? If you log in. I think that's the only way you would have known about these leaks, because the thing with leaks, for the most part, is they can exist on YouTube and SoundCloud unless the label is directly going to purge after them. But all these Yandhi leaks are out there on YouTube. You can go search for these and listen to them and rip them off and download them if you want. Granted that they're leaks, there are a lot of the songs are demo quality. The mix is certainly not final, right? But that's what I guess is what you expect. And yeah, I mean, you mentioned like everyone would have been on this if it was 2011 or 2009, because to listen to music, I was on my computer all the time, right? And like leaks was just a way bigger thing back then. Hasitleaked.com, a website literally dedicated to telling you if something actually had leaked yet, because back then everything did leak. It was just a question of when right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I may or may not have been accustomed to listening to music a week in advance, because that's when it would first be available on the internet. And that's just not something that comes up anymore, because you still need to be that hardcore about it.
Yep.
And as I say, elite culture hasn't gone away. It's just different, but it's about Playboy Cardi now. It's not about Kanye, because Kanye is not as doesn't have the stands the way someone like Cardi or Uzi does. Now leaks are about like Instagram story snippets, you know?
Yep.
And it is notable though, like when I went to the Beast Coast show at the end of August, Powers Pleasant during his DJ set played Kid Cudi, aka Pissy Pamper, a unreleased Playboy Cardi song that topped the Spotify Viral 50 chart via an illegal upload, because it's an unreleased song. Someone just uploaded it and actually went viral. And that's the song, of course, you've probably heard it. It's the song in the Brooklyn Nets bench mob meme where they're all dancing on the sideline. It's that Cardi song. So like leaks are still a thing, but I don't think people actively pursue and seek them out unless they're a hardcore stan like those Cardi stans are these days. So in the Kanye instance, it does kind of speak to the lack of widespread musical clout he has right now, I guess, coming off the generally perceived to be underwhelming Ye last year. So very interesting. And Pusha T last week said that he hates this leaks and he ruins stuff. And his new single "Sociopath" with Cash Doll actually had leaked back in April. I don't even remember that happening because they actually went out and scrubbed it. But it is interesting that for what it says about Kanye, I suppose.
And Cash Doll is on our Nowstalgia Best of 2019 playlist on Spotify, so check that out. Yeah, it's interesting to think about how far and how much music has changed just in the last 4 or 5 years. And I don't know, I've been thinking a lot about Jai Paul, right, and his album Leak 0413, and I wonder if that's going to become more and more common, that there's going to be these unfinished or partially finished albums that just drop because people pick up on a song or two and they're just like, I'm just going to throw this out there on streaming and see if it picks up. And if it does, people are like, let's just throw that out there, see what it is, and we can tinker with it. You think about Kanye with Life of Pablo, the I'm a Fix Wolves tweet, and how that was a living album, so to speak, a piece of art where he was constantly changing it on Tidal and until he got it right where he wanted it. And
it happened with the Young Thug album 2 weeks ago as well. Throughout the weekend, it was being updated, and they actually added a Machine Gun Kelly feature to one of the songs mid-weekend. So that certainly still continues.
So I could see that becoming more the norm, where it's not quite finished, but putting something out, seeing if it picks up, and then just kind of dropping things and tinkering as you go. But I feel like that's also not necessarily the way I want music to be. I prefer people to, or artists to, work on these finished products. And I think that kind of brings me around to, how are you feeling about these tracks that did leak? Did you give them a listen at all?
Yeah, I listened to them. Like I said, they're all over YouTube, so you don't have to feel bad about listening to them. It's pretty easy. Yeah, I think some of them were solid. Again, it's a lot of concepts. Like, where's Kanye at right now? And like a lot of these verses aren't finished either. There's like placeholder bars or sentences, right? And I think it was Alien, was it? I mean, some of the names are different depending on where you're looking, because again, we don't know the official names of anything. But I think Alien, like, some of the production sounded pretty cool. But it is also more of the Kanye we've come to know recently, where he's very riding the current wave, which he's done all the time, but in this case it's the SoundCloud wave, so it's very self-referential, lowbrow punchlines, I'd say. But there's an XXX feature on here. Once again, Kanye riding someone that's hot. He's done that the past 4 albums, right? Tiana Taylor sounded pretty cool on The Storm. I love it. Again, it's an official song though. Did you like the one with Lauryn Hill? Like, any of these stand out to you?
Yeah, the Storm I thought was pretty good. Although the one I listened to with the Storm was the one with X and Ty Dolla $ign. So maybe that one I listened to is not titled correctly.
No, that's the Storm. Yeah, I got it wrong.
Oh, that is okay. And then I really liked Alien and New Body. And New Body, especially Ty Dolla $ign, I think sounds great on that. Nicki's got a pretty finished verse. Kanye obviously needs to be tinkered with on that one. Use some of that auto tune or something like that to make it sound a little more polished. But overall, I like the tracks for the most part. It's just Yandhi as an album. He's been kind of mentioning it for so long. I was really hoping it was going to be deriving more of that soulfulness that he's been showing in the Good Sundays or the Sunday service.
Right.
A video leaked from this weekend Sunday service in Ohio, where he was rapping Jesus Walks, and the way he was just like in command of that room and just like the energy pulsing through it really made me hope like he was tapping into something from that like soulful old school Kanye type vibe, because it seems like when especially talking about Yandhi named after his mother, perhaps this was going to be something where he was going back to his roots a bit. But yeah, these tracks sound very very new school Kanye, very modern for him. So I was a little disappointed by that. But again, these tracks might not even end up on the album, and who knows when we're getting the album? We have no information around that. So
we just know he like took eliminated any release dates after Camp Flog Gnaw when he performed with Cudi, and he's like, it'll come out when it's ready. I apologize, all that. So it's not like it just came and went. He did officially acknowledge that, which I guess is nice. Thanks for that. But yeah, I mean, by the time a Yandhi or whatever the next album is called comes out, a lot of these songs will probably be quite old. So I would bet against really much of any of this coming out officially. And if any songs do come out, there certainly will be changed. I mean, you remember from what we know, Ye was completely re-recorded after some public flack Kanye had taken. And that's something I would like to hear what that sounded like. Can we leak that? You know? So yeah, I think listen to these songs on YouTube, check them out, try and understand, use it to gauge more of where Kanye was at when he was recording these more than anything else. Because it's a cool look behind the curtain. But yeah, I don't think we're going to get, and I love this cool album cover, which is a nice like Yeezus sequel. I don't even know if that's real at all, but it's the one that's been ran with at this point. But clearly none of this is any relation to Yeezus, production wise or thematically. So yeah, I think whatever the next album is probably totally different because it'll just be more recently recorded.
Yeah. As we're wrapping up, I think I hope Kanye sticks to that where he'll release it when it's ready. Because even something like Ye, like you said, it was re-recorded pretty quickly. The cover, I think, was taken on the way to the listening party.
Yeah.
So it's just like I'd prefer the Kanye who is meticulous and he's tapping into that artistic creativity, but in a way where he's also like honing it, not just letting it go wherever it wants to go. Right. And that seems more like the contemporary Kanye at this point. So go ahead.
I wonder if Good Ass Job, if that exists, leak that. I want to hear that.